So that the things that make things funny in general are things that make me laugh.
But
You know, subvert expectations or explore the concepts that we care about in unexpected ways. So those things make me laugh.
I just think like fart jokes are hilarious.
So things make me laugh if they're kind of delivered with the right kind of air of, we recognize that this is absurd. We're going to talk about it as though it's absurd.
Tie my baby to the railroad tracks.
Things that kind of I recognize that other people think is funny, and I just don't see it, right?
Like Instagram videos.
I don't think, right, and I think that's what's different about humor and like other things is the craftsmanship or the care or the thought that goes into it doesn't necessarily translate into it being funny.
I like TikTok.
I don't know if I'm being a dictator or a kind of comedy solipsist in saying that the only things that are funny are the things that make me laugh, right?
Huh.
Like that's it. Like if I don't find it funny, it's just not funny, right?
That makes me laugh. I don't know, the misfortune of others.
It's not surprising that comedians and like comic artists, like comic strip artists, usually like engage in a lot of philosophical stuff in what they're doing, because like again, finding the absurdity of these concepts that we think we understand is both part of like how philosophy works and also part of how comedy works.
Well, the fact of politics right now and the fact of these like protesters that come down and almost trample us every day.
Lots of things, right?
Yeah.
Plenty of things.
Yeah, no, I literally laugh at everything.
Deadpan humor is pretty funny.
Farts,
Yeah.
People like failing at stuff.
something ironic, something satirical.
Sarcastic jokes.
Right. I have a 10-year-old daughter that's constantly showing me TikTok things saying this is hilarious. And it is objectively not hilarious.
Funny TikToks.
But to her, it's funny. I think it would be hard pressed to say, yes, there is one objective thing that is funny. Except, maybe farts. I don't know.
It's one of those things that kind of happens in the moment.
Yeah.
I definitely like slapstick shit. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tie my baby to the railroad tracks.
Skits and gags and inside jokes, slapped together, that's kind of funny, but I'm not invested in any of these characters,
In movies, when especially like a character is original and it doesn't seem like made up, they're genuine in the way they make jokes.
Something that's just genuine.
Right now, butt stuff is funny.
So I think good writing's funny, right?
Yeah.
Funny's hard. Funny's hard to do.
South Park. The scenarios, the timing of what they say when they say it. It's some funny business. You know what I mean, bruh?
Something that's well thought out, that makes you have to like kind of think about it and not always getting it right at the point.
Silly shit that's sillier on the third time.
Right? Repetition's a pretty big, key to comedy, right? Yep. Just if we do something enough times, it somehow becomes funny.
Tie my baby to the railroad tracks. Down bow, down the line. Engineer Jones wishing he was home.
I tend to think of horror and comedy as being so closely linked.
More dark jokes. I'm not really into like knock jokes or stuff.
The element of surprise that occurs.
Currently, this year, life in general, it makes me laugh at this point.
And surprising is talking about the taboo and talking about things that you normally wouldn't expect somebody to say, by virtue of its banned language in some way. And sometimes that sort of shock can be funny.
Yeah. That's all we can do, right? COVID-19, 2020, all the memes on the internet. It's been the best year for the internet, really.
There are times in which that just absolutely isn't funny, where it is inappropriate or it causes more hurt than shock.
People get hurt.
But a lot of the great comedy that exists out there comes from a deep place of pain and is often about pain.
I'm going in to Sin City. I'm gonna win in Sin City.
Humor is a good feeling, and if you can provide that value within relief, I guess.
Yeah. You were eating a sandwich, it's not as funny as if you say you were eating a tuna fish sandwich.
Just making like a simple, like for example, like walking down the street. Someone could walk a certain way and it looks funny.
Being specific and giving a little bit of an extra detail is often a key to the humor as well.
Little children doing silly things, or
just doing stupid stuff that you wouldn't ordinarily expect.
There's supposed to be this professional setting, and then the cat comes through, and it just lightens up the mood.
I like political satire.
You watch like the new Joker movie?
It's usually a lot of truth-telling with a punchline.
You'll definitely see that like there's a narrative for humor, right? And he breaks the narrative with that.
And so I think it makes the subject more approachable to talk about.
I think that if you find something funny, you find it funny, and you can't control how you feel.
And you have to be comically savvy and have a fun way of talking about things that are pretty painful in the world we're in, and racism and all that kind of stuff.
It's always changing, you know what I mean? Just looking how the narrative is always changing and the joke is always changing.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm the joke, sometimes the person down the street's the joke, but we can't help it but to laugh.
There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, 'cause you know
sometimes all of our thoughts have two meanings. Hoo 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 hoo.
There's a feeling I get when I look to the west, and my spirit is crying for leaving. In my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees,